back. Dera Sacha Sauda Chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh has been provided Z plus security on his release from jail following reports of threats to his life from pro-Khalistan activists. The Haryana government's decision to grant the top-tier security cover to the convicted Sikh leader comes after his request for furlough was approved earlier this month, and this has garnered a lot of controversy as well. Joining us with more details on this is Gurpreet and Pradeep Datta, who are joining us. Pranesh will also be joining us from the newsroom with more details on this. First up, let me go across to Pranesh, who is joining us. Pranesh, convicted criminal walking out of jail, a hero for the Haryana government. Quite surprising.
Absolutely, and this is even written in the affidavit which was submitted in the court by the state government. Allow me to read this. That after consideration, the answering deponent by letter number so and so forwarded the same to the office of the Director General Prisons Haryana for guidance. The DGP Prisons via his letter number so and so had requested the additional Chief Secretary to Government of Haryana Jails Department Chandigarh to obtain the legal opinion of the learned Advocate General Haryana. True copy of the said letter dated 21st January 2022 is annexed accordingly. And look at the opinion. The opinion of the learned Advocate General Haryana has been sought, who opined that the case of the petitioner, who is the petitioner, Ram Rahim, is not covered under the category of hardcore prisoners. And this is, baffles my mind, which opinion was conveyed by the government memo. So the government says this man is not a hardened prisoner. This is not a hardcore prisoner in their words. Here it is, hardcore prisoner, quote unquote. Now we know the kind of charges for which he was convicted and is facing jail term. But the Haryana government would have us believe that, listen, this man is not a hardcore criminal.
Okay, all right. Absolutely surprising. Convicted for rape and murder, and the government saying he's not a hardened criminal. Let me go across to Gurpreet there. Gurpreet, this is a very surprising stance of the Haryana government. Even if a security threat has been said by Gurpreet Ram Rahim, we have the government here saying that he is not a hardened criminal, whereas he has already been convicted for rape and murder.
Well, that if we can see that how smartly Haryana government has given a clean chit to be a hard criminal, this specifically Ram Rahim. So look at the way what they had given. They say that 5 years of his sentence has already been completed in the jail by Ram Rahim, and keeping in view of his good conduct in the jail also, they had given this clean chit that he is not falling under the category of a hardened criminal, so a hardcore criminal. So somewhere down the lane, it seems that it's a well-designed plan to give him a relief, and that was a part of 21 days furlough which has been granted by the government. And now, at one point of time, if we cannot forget the day when there was a decision and around 65 people had been killed in that violence, and if we can read that the way the court had given judgment on that day, so at that time he was a hardcore criminal, he was involved in a crime, and he was involved in the rape and murder crime, and now the same government is saying he's not falling under the category of a hardcore criminal. So 21 days furlough we have seen for the last 1 year. There were the attempts by Ram Rahim. He has already approached the Honorable High Court, where he had appealed for appeal from the court, but court has declined. And lot of Sikh organizations, they had already raised a lot of questions the way he had approached the court. But even during that period, I now had accessed a lot of documents where we can see that somewhere down the lane, the Haryana government supporting his parole, saying that it's the matter of
the
right.
government is supporting the parole, and not just that, of course, his political clout is also well known, which is why the governments have been cozying up to him as well. Even in the run-up to his conviction as well, we saw attempts being made to shield him as well. And this is one of the reasons why political leaders continue to take this stance. Now, going a step further and also providing Z plus security, Pradeep Datta, let me bring you in here. Claiming a threat from pro-Khalistan elements, we have a convicted criminal getting the top-tier security.
That's really shocking and disturbing. A person who is involved in rape and murder, and he is convicted for those charges, he is being provided security. That means he is being treated like a VVIP, and that's nothing can be more disturbing. When he was arrested, that time everybody thought that law is finally taking its course and action is being initiated against a person who had been calling the shots so far as the Punjab and Haryana politics is concerned. Many opposition party leaders already feel this is nothing but quid pro quo. Why they feel there's a quid pro quo? They feel there's a kind of a deal between the various political parties. That's why he was left on furlough. And finally, when he was left on furlough, that time Punjab elections were on. And somewhere he had directed his voters, his followers, to vote for particular parties. So that's one of the reasons that they are very soft on him. They're calling that he is not a hardcore criminal, he's not a hardened criminal. No doubt his conduct may be good, but what else he is going to do inside his jail? Otherwise also his conduct was good. But if you look at his deeds, those were not good. That's what actually the court at that time looked into, and that's one of the reasons that he was convicted for 20 years. But now finally he's left on furlough. He'll be provided security. He'll be moving scot-free along with the security force person. You can very well understand what must be going on in the minds of those people whose daughters were raped and what they will be thinking at this stage. And I think this is where the question the Indians will be asking the government of Haryana also, especially the Advocate General, on what basis he is saying that he is not a hardened criminal. You look at it's like just sprinkling salt on the wounds of all those family members who were looking for justice. They were happy when finally he was arrested, but after 5 years he's being released. He's on furlough and he's being provided Z+ security. Nothing can be bigger joke than this thing on the system of justice that actually the people had been looking towards. And I think this is insult towards all those victims and a big joke so far as the justice system, criminal justice system in the country is concerned. I think this decision the government of Haryana will have to look into, because definitely there are going to be so many questions that will be raised over the period of time. Opposition has already started targeting, in fact, the government over this issue. They feel this is nothing but they are trying to keep Baba Ram Rahim in good humor for political gains and political reasons.
Absolutely, for political reasons. Many thanks for joining us with those details.